choices and strengthens democracy. The media also gives ordinary Nigerians a voice. Through phone-in programs, interviews, and social media engagements, citizens can express their opinions and raise concerns. This allows the government to hear directly from the people and encourages public participation in governance. Despite its importance, the media in Nigeria faces challenges. These include pressure from powerful individuals, threats to journalists, lack of funding, and the spread of fake news. Some media houses also struggle to remain independent. These challenges affect how effectively the media can perform in its role in governance. Without the media, governance would lack transparency. The media connects the government to the people, keeps leaders accountable, and helps citizens stay informed. A free and responsible media strengthens good governance and democracy in Nigeria.
In the story of Nigeria's democracy, the media is more than just an observer. It is an active participant. By informing the public, holding leaders accountable, and giving voice to the people,
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Hey, my God! Look at your neighbor, say, neighbor! What's up for night, the sweet pass? What's up for night? Where my people? What's up for night? You can come down. What's up for night, the sweet pass? Say, what's up for night, the sweet pass? What's up for night, the sweet pass? What's up for? Receive a song. You say, Jesus, you too much. What you've done in my life? What you've done in my life, I can't imagine. Jesus, you too much. Jesus, you too much. I get your whistle, I get your whistle. When I think of, Jesus. When I think of where you brought me from, oh Jesus. Jump, 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 jump.
We're gonna pick up some good praise in here. Everybody, let me hear you scream. Are you ready? Let me just see you. Who does this together? Jesus, you too much. What you done in my life? What you done in my life? I can't imagine. Say, Jesus, you too good. see you. Everybody, let me see you. Everybody, let me see you. Yeah, God. Everybody, yeah, God.
You will never fail, God. Oh, dear Lord. Though my life has not been without ups and downs, sometimes I feel lonely when knelt and abandoned. I realize that you have a mystery of being faithful and never to fail. No matter what, I put my trust in you. The Lord will not fail me.
in the midnight hour, the Lord will. Even when money fails, the Lord will not fail. No, the Lord will not fail.
Can't you see him moving everywhere? Can't you see the glory fill the temple? The temple, the angels sing, holy, holy to the Lamb of God. And he says, join in one accord. Oh yeah, the member. Oh, very glad we add your name, be done. We your people worship you, oh God. Do I have a witness in His presence this morning? Say, can't you see Him? Can't you see Him moving there? I can feel your presence everywhere. Can't you see this? Your glory, your glory, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, we your sons and daughters. Join in one accord. Oh very good. Father, we hail your name. We give you all the glory. We give you all the honor. We give you all the praise, God. We worship you. We worship you. Say, we give you all the glory. We give you all the honor. Yeah. Say, God, we your people. We worship you. Oh God. Lord, you are worthy. You are worthy, Jesus. Hey. I can feel your presence everywhere. Your glory's everywhere. Your glory's everywhere. Your blessings everywhere. I can feel you. I can feel you. I can feel you. You are worthy, Jesus. You are worthy. I can feel your glory. It is upon me. It is upon me. I can feel your glory. I can feel your anointing. I can feel your healing. Yeah. We give you all the glory.
This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network. This
Hello there, good afternoon. Welcome to TVM's Global Brief. I am Fred O'Neill. These are the news making the round on the hour. South Sudan's president has dismissed the country's finance minister just 3 months after his appointment. The move comes amid mounting economic challenges in the oil-dependent nation as authorities struggle with fiscal instability and revenue shortfalls. Political analysts say the shuffle signals ongoing economic pressures within the government. Now, the South African rand held steady as investors awaited key data from the central bank. Traders are closely monitoring inflation and monetary policy signals that could influence future interest rate decisions in Africa's most industrialized economy. Market sentiment remains cautious amid global economic uncertainty. Now, former UK Ambassador Peter Mandelson has been released following his arrest in connection with revelations surrounding the late financier Jeffrey Epstein. Authorities have not announced further legal action, and details of the investigation remain under review. The case has continued to draw public and political attention in Britain. And to the United States, the U.S. President Donald Trump is set to deliver a State of the Union address as he faces political and economic headwinds at home and abroad. The speech is expected to outline policy priorities and address national concerns ranging from economic performance to foreign relations. Observers say the address could shape the political narrative in the months ahead. Now, a powerful winter storm has paralyzed parts of the northeastern United States, shutting down roads and grounding flights. Authorities report hazardous travel conditions as heavy snowfall and strong winds sweep across several states. Residents have been urged to remain indoors until conditions improve. And now to the other parts of the world. An Iranian military helicopter has crashed into a fruit market, killing at least 4 people. Authorities are investigating the cause of the crash as emergency responders assess the damage. The incident has raised safety concerns in the affected community. Now, the United States is pulling non-essential staff from its embassy in Beirut amid heightened tensions with Iran. Officials describe the move as precautionary as regional security concerns intensify. International observers are closely monitoring developments in that particular region. We'll take a break now. When we return, Global Brief continues. Stay with us.
Welcome to Dursag Engineering and Services Limited, a trusted name in the oil and gas industry, proudly registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission since the year 2000. We hold several specialized permits with the Department of Petroleum Resources, are accredited with service and product codes by NIPEX, certified by Dun & Bradstreet, and proudly ISO 9001:2015 certified. Our head office is strategically located at 43 Airport Road, Warri, Delta State, Nigeria. At DERSAG, our areas of expertise cut across critical sectors, including manpower sourcing and supply, both local and highly trained expatriate personnel. Engineering services across civil, electrical, instrumentation, and mechanical works. Construction and fabrication works. Specialized procurement and supply. Operations and maintenance services. And integrated marine services, delivering supply boats, crew boats, tugboats, barges, houseboats, and speed boats. We are proud partners to some of the industry's leading players, including NNPC and its subsidiaries, Seplat Petroleum, First Hydrocarbon Nigeria Limited, ND Western, Saipem Contracting Nigeria Limited, and Lee Engineering and Construction, among others. Over the years, we have successfully executed manpower, EPC, and marine support projects with a strong record of excellence. At DERSAG Engineering, we are committed to quality, safety, and timely delivery, ensuring that every project meets and exceeds expectations. DERSAG Engineering and Services Limited, your trusted partner in delivering world-class engineering and energy solutions.
Welcome back from the break. On to business matters now. A UK specialty chemicals manufacturer, Croda International, has unveiled ambitious profit margin targets as part of a broader corporate overhaul. The company says the restructuring aims to streamline operations and strengthen long-term growth amid challenging global demand. Investors are watching closely as the company implements strategic adjustments. Germany's once thriving automotive manufacturing regions are facing economic headwinds amid slowing demand and industrial transformation. Experts cite high energy costs and global competition as major pressures on Europe's largest economy. The downturn has sparked concerns about jobs and long-term competitiveness. And shares of IDFC First Bank plunged nearly 20% following reports of a suspected $65 million fraud. The bank says investigations are ongoing as regulators review the situation. The development triggered volatility in financial markets. You're still watching Global Brief from TVM. Now, European car sales declined in January, with petrol-powered vehicles recording a sharp drop in demand. Industry data shows overall registrations fell compared to the same period last year as consumers continue shifting toward electric and hybrid vehicles. Analysts say tighter emissions regulations and changing buyer preferences are accelerating the transition away from traditional petrol engines. Automakers across the region are adjusting production strategies amid evolving market dynamics and competitive pressure. Now, we have to talk about this a little because of petrol-driven vehicles that are gradually being phased away in some regions in the world. For Africa, I think a lot has to be done because most of our vehicles are fuel driven. So we'll watch this space to see how this development unfolds in that particular region. All right, and this is where we will draw the curtain on today's edition of TVM's Global Brief. For more updates throughout the day, please follow us on our digital platforms and stay tuned to TVM for trusted news and in-depth coverage. My name is Fred O'Neill. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.
Come on, clap your hands. Here we go. Woo. Are you ready? Where your hands say, I lift my hands,
I lift my hands,
I lift my voice
I lift my voice
to worship you,
to worship you,
to worship you.
to worship
Oh, I lift my
you.
head,
I lift my hands,
I lift my voice
I lift my voice
to worship you,
to worship you,
to worship you.
to worship you.
Abadi ni do, ogene do, mi eruwe do, eyo fafo mi eruwe do, ogene do, mi eruwe do. My hands I raise, my voice I raise, to worship you, to worship you. My hands I raise, my voice I raise, to worship you, to worship you. We sing, do, 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 ogene do, mi do. Somebody raise your voices and sing. It means thank you, Lord, thank you. And you walk with me in the world.
TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want, watch TVM on all your devices. TVM, your world, your network. This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories.
Can you introduce yourself and tell us a bit of your background into software development?
Okay. My name is Paul Okodowa, and I've been working in the software industry for, say, almost a decade now, 8 years to be precise. And so it was, my introduction into tech was not so straightforward. It wasn't so straightforward. So I started from customer service all the way to customer success, and then I moved to content writing. From content writing then to learning software engineering. So software engineering to content creation, like educational content creation. And that's where I am now. So it's not been a very, very, very straight journey. But it was, I think my introduction into tech started when I started learning to build websites at the beginning, WordPress and the rest, trying to do. Okay, it was HTML. Okay, I think I'm getting it now. I was teaching in a school where I teach people how to design with CorelDRAW, Microsoft Word, those other stuff that we have those days. And there was this book in the office, and it has this how to build a website, very big book. It's from those O'Reilly. I think O'Reilly's how to build website. And I can remember that the first website there in that book was to build a website for a football team called Carnington Cougars. That's the name of the football team. And so I was following it bit by bit, just going through the HTML bit by bit. And I kind of really got interested because it was very easy to just translate what's inside the book all the way to the PC. That was my first experience trying to build a website, and then went all the way to Dreamweaver. Dreamweaver was a terrible software though. So I went all the way to Dreamweaver, and then it was from Dreamweaver, just kept on learning, and then YouTube became very popular, and jumped into YouTube and started learning as much as I could. But it was, for the job part of it, it was majorly from customer success. So I didn't just go all the way to a website because I really did not know anything. I had the knowledge, but I really did not know how to put it into use. But I was doing customer success for a tech company. So that's how it just kept on going.
What was that inspiration, from customer success down to software development, down into content creation? Although I don't like using the word content creation as a job description, because even if you are creating content about what you do. So what you do is the job.
Okay.
So what was your inspiration all through this journey, from one point to the next point? What inspired you to move and get to that point?
Okay, so the first time I was building a website, very cheap website, then I got that job as a customer success guy. So I was paid 35,000 a month. I can imagine how lean that was. So I was paid 40,000, and then there was tax. There was not tax, it was insurance, I guess. And I think it was 5,000, and then it was 9,000 actually. So I was paying 5,000, my company was paying 4,000, and my take home was 30,000. But the guys those who were building software, they were earning way, way more than I was. So I was one involved in scouting the customer, making sure the customer come do business with us. But I was earning very, very low, very, very little. And but aside the fact that I was earning little, I'm somebody who's very, very interested in being the one who's at the top and not the one who's below. So I knew that the easiest way for me to do that would be to build software personally, to move all the way from customer service and build software, even though that doesn't seem like the right thing to do at this in 2025 right now. But what I did was I was taking time to, upskill myself and sell my services outside what I was doing for the company. So I was doing customer success. I had things like templates on how to close deals. I had contract draft. So I had access to all the things that was used in that particular company I was working for. So what I did was that I started to freelance on the side. So I started to freelance on the side, not trying to build software like they did, because I really did not know the technology they were using. I don't know, I'm not good at the technology, but I knew the technology they were using, but I'm not very good at it. So I started to freelance on the side. So I started with website development. That's what I started with, and just kept on going. And then website development, I was doing website development for Nigerians, right? But you know how Nigerians can be. Somebody says, I'm going to pay you 200,000, and that 200,000, you will use it to design heaven and earth for me. So I wasn't so comfortable with that relationship I was having with Nigerians. So I thought, what would be the easiest thing for me to do for people outside? So I realized that probably my decision then, probably if I had continued web design, I would have been able to take it outside. But my decision then was that I was going to begin to build software, build web software, internet tools, external tools for people outside the country. And that's just basically how I just started, building all of that. So when I say I'm a content creator, maybe that's the wrong word to use, because I don't create content that makes people happy and all that stuff. So I would say that I'm a teacher. So I teach, I teach software development. Tech education. I teach software development online. That's what I do. So I don't really entertain anybody. In fact, if you're looking forward to being entertained, you won't really watch my content. You won't.
All right, now down to the tech, because I understand that there are careers or skills or businesses that thrive in the right ecosystem. Mm-hmm. Right? So is there a developer hub in Benin, because you are based in Benin right now? Is there kind of a group of developer hub where you guys kind of share ideas, or what's the word, troubleshoot problems like in Benin? Yeah.
Okay. I think the good thing about being a developer is that you don't have to be in a local circle, right? It's a choice if you want to be in a local circle or if you don't want to be in a local circle. It's just a choice thing. Okay. It's not something that is very compulsory, maybe like people who sell clothes, yams, and the rest. You don't have to. But in Benin City or Nigeria at large, they have various developer groups that you can belong to. There's a Google developer group. There is an Untitled Designers. There's a whole lot of different groups that you can belong to. You just have to probably find them on LinkedIn, or probably go to Eventbrite and sign up for one of their events, attend the event, and you definitely become a member or become a friend to the people who, become a friend to the persons who host those design conferences, right? But for outside, you can just really start from Google searching. So people are very, I think the tech community is one of those communities where people encourage you a lot, even though people can still discourage you a lot, because when you see people getting a lot of results and you're not getting that result, it's discouragement. But if you're just getting started, they can really encourage you. There are tons and tons of Slack groups that you can join. There are tons of online meetups you can do. Some persons even do morning brew, like morning coffee sections, like every Monday, every weekend. So you just join them and you get acquainted with what's happening in your industry at that time. So you could actually join as many groups as possible.
So aside these internal resources, because what you just described sounds to me like resources made by people who are in development.
Sure.
Now, are there other, do you think that the government state government, federal government have made enough resource available for young developers, and if they haven't, what do you think is missing in the whole development system in Nigeria, developer system in Nigeria, from the perspective of the government, not within your group now?
Okay, I think personally that the ecosystem in Nigeria is not thriving yet. Privately, the ecosystem is thriving a bit, but the thing is everybody is doing things in silence, secretly in their rooms. I personally have been in my room for the past 3 years just working and not really coming out, right? But in terms of the government aspect of things, I would say a complete no. I would say no because there's a whole lot of things that is needed for a developer to thrive. If you don't have some very constant factor, you will not be able to thrive as a developer, irrespective of the part of the country that you are. For example, if you do not have light, you will not be able to thrive. Your productivity is directly proportional to how much light time you have and how much network you have. There's sometimes I'm working personally and network just goes off. Like I can't continue. Like probably I'm on a call and the next thing I just realize that my network just dropped to 0. I can't continue the call and saying hello. You just have to wait for the call to end, wait for the network to come back, and then you go send an apology note. Hey, I'm sorry, it's the network. So you keep on saying that same thing multiple times, right? So I don't think that the government is providing a lot of resource for people who are working remotely or people who are in the digital space. You have to do up so many things yourself. I did a boot camp. We had 4,000 persons in a boot camp. Lots of persons, while they were on the boot camp, lots of them had light fluctuations in different part of the country. Not like the same part of the country, different part of the country. A lot of them had light fluctuations. You won't believe that their laptop got fried. Many of them. Some of them, their transformer just went off. Wow. Their laptop got fried. So you can usually see pictures of people who say, my motherboard. Why? Because it just flew. Who says, I started this boot camp to learn, but in the process of this boot camp, they came and they took my transformer away. As crazy as that is, they took my transformer away, and now I can't really join the boot camp. So I think there have to be adequate resources put together for people who are working remotely or who are building applications, from security to light to even credit facility for you to acquire gadgets. Naira is not doing so well in the market. I remember when I started, say like 8 years ago, you could actually get a brand new PC for 90,000. That's how much I got my first brand new PC, 90,000. But now, if you want to get a brand new PC, you should be thinking like maybe 2.5 million.
Exactly.
So if you are a developer, irrespective of how good you are, there are some things that you will not be able to do if you do not have a very good PC that you want to use. Right. So I think credit line will be a very good thing for the government to do. You borrowing money to get gadgets at 36%. It's a very, very terrible deal.
At DSAG Engineering and Services, we anticipate, manage, and deliver. Since 2000, we have been a leading EPC company, ensuring customer satisfaction through quality service and timely delivery. With integrity, proficiency, and innovation at our core, we provide world-class solutions tailored to your needs. From engineering designs and construction to procurement, manpower outsourcing, and maritime supplies, DSAG delivers excellence. Partner with us today. Visit www.dsag.net or call +23 4807 254 8724. DSAG Engineering and Services. Anticipate, manage, deliver.
Welcome back to the concluding part of this conversation. And before we went on that short break, Engineer Poye was telling us about the difficulty or what the government can do to make it easier. And I tend to agree with him because, these days, the tech and the media space are kind of an outlet for young people to make a living. We don't have people vying for conventional jobs anymore. People are leaning inwards towards developing their skill and making money out of it. I for one, I can attest to the fact that it costs a whole lot of money to get power for production purposes for a day, to get data for a day. So it's actually crazy, to spend 15, 20,000 naira a day just for fear to power them because there was no national power. And meanwhile, you still pay for those. And there was one other thing too that I would like to chip into. There is also the difficulty in payments. Yeah, it's one thing I've noticed. I will go through a lot in this country.
Yeah.
You want to buy something online outside the country, you go through hell to pay your money. It's not like you want to take somebody's money. Your own money that you have to pay for a product or pay for a software or pay for something or a plugin or whatever it is, you go through hell to get it. I don't know what policy operates that, but man, it's not fair to young developers. It's not fair to young tech people. So thank you for being with us, Engineer Paul.
Yeah, just want to chip in on that idea, being able to collect payment as a person. So, if you are a freelancer or you're a tech person who's based in Nigeria or maybe other third world country, especially in Nigeria, you will find it difficult to make payment and accept payment. I think there are a lot of policies that's making sure that these so-called big guys are able to charge directly your Nigerian card, or as long as your IP address is from Nigeria, there's just so many services that you can't really access. Just thinking of, I was going to pay for Google Cloud services just a few days ago. I tried my local card, it didn't work. I tried my foreign card, it didn't work. Tried a French card, it didn't work. It just doesn't work. This is something that if you live in the UK or you live in any other country, you're able to do this as easy as possible. But because you're in Nigeria, it's difficult. Even if you were building products in Nigeria and you're building for people who live in maybe in the UK or in the US, there is hardly any infrastructure that is based in Nigeria that you can use to charge that person, right? You would have to rely on Amazon, or you have to rely on Stripe. You have to rely on other tools that when you charge that person, you are going to pay your tax to those other persons. I mean, recently I was taxed $33 simply because I was charging somebody penny. I mean, the amount of money I was going to charge this person is so low, and before to complete that transaction, I was charged as much as $33 just to complete a very simple transaction like that. That's how hard it is for people to transfer money. So I think that's something that the government will have to look on. Else, Nigeria will not be able to compete in a global space. We'll just keep building fintech product, or we'll keep on building the same product for the same people over and over and over again, and which is very, very, very terrible.
Aside from even expanding the fintech, the tech space, I don't like using fintech because it's like fintech is the only thing we do in Nigeria. We'll come to that. Absolutely. But aside from expanding the tech space, it's taxable income that the government could actually do some. We pay tax to foreign governments simply because
every day you pay tax to foreign government every day
simply because of freelance.
Yes, everything you do as a freelancer, you're doing it majorly in foreign currency, especially for somebody. Okay, let's say for example now, if you're working on Upwork is a place where you go to bid for jobs. If you're working on Upwork, you first of all buy Upwork coins. They call it Comet. First of all, pay for that in dollars, right? And then when they give you, see how your Upwork money will go. When they give you product to work on an Upwork, I think they charge you about 30%. So that's minus 30%. Now you have your own 70%. Let's say the person is charging you $100. You're charging the person $100. Upwork take 30%, between the range of 20 to 30%, depending on how, I think 10 to 30%, depending on the price range of the project. And then that person is $70. Upwork is supposed to send that money to you, but they can't send the money to you because you don't have
facility.
Not just facility, there's government restriction as to how much money you can collect, you can receive from Upwork. You can't, Upwork cannot send it to you. So what you do is that you would have to open an account in America. but you do it through a private company, right? Those guys, they will then charge you a particular percent for receiving that money from you first. And then, let's say, for example, that the standard rate of Naira is about 1,600 Naira, as at this point, I guess. And then they too, that same company will sell Naira for you like 1,550 something Naira. So for every $1 that they give you, they collect from you, they will charge you 45 Naira extra after charging the percentage to collect the money from you. So you see, if you're charged, if it's 100 Naira, it's $100 that they are collecting, they are processing for you to your local bank account. In Naira, they will charge you 45 Naira times 100, depending on the rate. Sometimes it can be as much as 100 Naira.
Wow.
Right, so that means you pay 4,500 Naira just to take that money from that virtual account to your Naira account. So you can see how much you lose. 30% to upward, you come down, you lose about 2 to 5% to maybe GigPay or any of these other two, and then they want to transfer it to your account, you lose about 45 Naira per person. So you see how much you're losing. If we had the infrastructure, right, it would have been very easy for government to handle that. Other countries are doing it. India handle their payment themselves. China does it. South Africa does it. Other countries are doing it. So I think the blockage in finance, so to say, we have the infrastructure because we were doing this before.
Yeah.
We had the infrastructure, but I don't know what happened. I'm not a financial expert, but I think the government just came one day and said, stop it.
I have my theory, but I don't want to say it here because this is not the platform for it. But I have my theory. There's something I believe is the reason why, because I do pay. I remember when AliExpress was kind of getting traction.
Yeah, you pay with your normal Naira card.
I pay with my normal Naira.
I used to pay
card.
with FCMB myself.
I buy stuff from AliExpress and resell in Nigeria. And all of a sudden, one government came and said, no, I don't know why. They would give you reasons for money laundering or whatever. But my thinking is you do not throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah, you do not stop 200 million people from receiving money from America simply
Just
because
a few of them will do money laundering.
200 persons are into money laundering, right? You know, I went to, do you know the funny thing, Lawrence? The funny thing here is, because of this issue, I went to FCMB to go open a domiciliary account because they said, okay, it's a domiciliary account, it's fine. Then I happened to have courses on Skillshare. And that first time I made some money on Skillshare and it was about 72, about 100 and something US dollars like that. In order for me to, I made about 100 and something dollars. So I wanted to collect the money. I put my FCMB DOM account as the account that you send the money to. To you as dollars, right? You know what happened? To get that money from Skillshare here, right? They had charged me about $49 already.
Wow.
I'm telling you, just to get the money from Skillshare's account to this account, they
said 50, but they say they're dashing you now.
They charged me $49 US. And then when that money came, you won't believe the rest. It came as Naira. FCMB said it was a mistake or something. They sent FCMB converted the money to Naira for me by themselves, right? And I had to go and pick. Do you know how much got to me? For 100 and something dollars. You know how much got to me? 24,000 Naira. That's how much got to me. So that's how crazy the policy can be.
Less than $30.
That's less than $30, yeah. That's how crazy the policy can be.
Wow.
That's how much got to me. And I think at that time, dollar was about 7 or something Naira. That's what got to me from changing about 130 something US dollars and sending it to Nigeria. What got to me was that price. And funny, I had to go to the bank itself to go and make sure this thing worked. FCMB said, we forgot. Oh my God, we changed it. They changed it for me. They changed this thing for me.
Well, we have to move on. We have to move on. We are not policy makers. We can only just ask.
Absolutely.
Now, there was something I've noticed in the Nigerian tech space. We have great developers, good developers who can make some fantastic, for instance, look at our fintech. Like our fintech is one of the most robust out there. We do mobile payments easily. A lot of banks in Nigeria that do not have offices that people know. But
absolutely.
60 to 70% of Nigeria's bank with them. Why have we not been able to translate this success in fintech to SaaS, software as a service, provide other services? The other things we could do with software, what's just the financial space that is?
Okay. So I think a lot of persons are doing this already, but you will normally find these persons in Port Harcourt. So if you're watching us and you want to go into spaces that are other than the fintech space, Port Harcourt is a place that you should be, not Lagos or Abuja or any of those places. So you would normally find most of these guys in Port Harcourt. So I used to have a work colleague. He formed, he's the owner of CEO, I think, of Pipes. Pipes is a very cool tool for DevOps. I know a couple of persons in Port Harcourt who are doing this, but I think the Lagos boys and the around Nigeria boys, they have to be doing a fintech for something, fintech for anything. So the fintech space has become so competitive that your success is directly proportional to how much money you're willing to waste. So if you have a fintech app, Uber for Suya or a Suya app, Abeg, any of these apps like that, your app will become very successful if you have a lot of marketing budget, or you can bring the price very low. So let's say, for example, the standard CBN rate is 10% per transaction, and you personally, you are charging 5 naira per transaction. So you're the one covering the 5 naira for CBN, right? So let's say you have if you're, as long as you're willing to cover that 5 naira, as low as 5 naira, or probably this 15 naira fee that people pay whenever they transfer above 10,000 naira. If you say, okay, I have $10 million in the bank account, I can cover that 50 naira for like maybe 100 million transactions. People will leave you complex services like MoneyPoint, OPay, and jump all the way to you. Right, so it's a very volatile market. People get into fintech to lose money, not to make money, right? So anyway, that's a talk for another day. But for reasons why people don't do business to business, because there's really no business. Yeah, you can really quote me anywhere. There's really no business to do business to business software for in Nigeria. Majority of the people that we sell to in Nigeria, they are customers. So it's business to customer. So you almost can't do business to business in Nigeria. You fail. You will not really succeed because there's so many things. There is not enough business in Nigeria for you to have a business software for a particular kind of people. Because when you're building business to business software, Lawrence, you have to niche to a particular set of people. Say, for example, we say you are building, today I was reading about a guy who built a software for people who own pet farms, private pet farms in the US. I think it should be pet farms in the US. So that's a business to business something. People who want to manage their pet farms, they will pay for it. So then if you bring it back to Nigeria, let's say, for example, you want to build a software that people can use to manage bakery. So the question now is, how many bakery do you have in Nigeria, right? And how many bakeries will be willing to use a tech product like that for free? And how many persons will be willing to pay for that product in order for you to optimize their business? Nigeria has too many B2C products. Everyone is saying we are all the business. So we don't have the market for any B2B product. And another thing is, this is the one that would break the camel's back. Nigerians don't like paying for anything, especially if it's a made in Nigerian product. Nigerians don't like paying for. If there's no white man inside, if you want to sell to a lot of Nigerians, you have to use a white guy as your advert guy. Yeah. If there's no white guy inside, if you're not saying like this product is made from China, this product is made from UK, one UK address, one American address, and lots of Nigerians don't really think that it is very, very cool, right? And Nigerians hate paying for something. Somebody made a post recently on Twitter, and the person said that Instagram, they're charging about 2,400 naira a year for premium. I think they were doing it on promo or something. Do you know what Nigerians said, Lawrence? Don't pay. Don't pay. I have a cheat that will enable you to have it for
For 2,400.
2,400. This is less than a
That's
dollar
like 2,000 a month.
That's like 200 naira a month. 200 naira a month.
Yeah, that's 200 naira.
Yes, and that's $1.50 or something a year. And the Nigerian person came around and said, telling people not to pay that he has a cheat code.
Yeah.
So talk less of you're building a B2B software and with all the cloud infrastructure, everything that you want to do, and so you're charging. So I think what Nigerians should do, if you're a software developer, I think what you should do is that you should build for outside the country.
Wow.
Just build for outside the country. The Nigerian market itself is not ready for business to business software. I remember when MoneyPoint came. I think they were not MoneyPoint before. They were another name. They were providing infrastructure for banks, for FCMB, all these other banks. That's what they were doing. And their infrastructure was helping the banks make a whole lot of money, right? And the banks, they were not fulfilling their own side of the bargain the way they should. So what they did was they called out two guys and said, I think we can deploy this infrastructure ourselves. Since we're the owner of this infrastructure, I think we should create a product that we'll be able to use to deploy this infrastructure. We'll use our own infrastructure for another product. So they called out two guys, and those guys started researching on this product called MoneyPoint. So they started in Lagos, a very small catchment area in Lagos. They produced the POS and they were going to collect feedback, right? And the feedback they noticed was that payout was a thing. Like payout, the other banks will wait, they will pay you the next day. So MoneyPoint now came out with a solution that we're going to settle you that same evening. At the end of business day, we will settle you. So once Nigerians heard that these people, they settle you same business day, everybody bought it. So though they were still giving bank infrastructure, but MoneyPoint began to grew so big that they were processing as much as 2 billion. They are now processing way more than bank on a daily basis.
That bank is not. I see that bank in my perspective as the biggest bank in Nigeria right now. Almost every business
is using MoneyPoint now. So they started producing so much money, they left their infrastructure business. And MoneyPoint is now the business now. No more infrastructure business. I'm not sure they still provide infrastructure for any banks now. They left all of those stuff and now it's MoneyPoint. So majority of the businesses that are in Nigeria now, if you own a software business, it's not advisable to build a software business in Nigeria. Instead, build a software business that you personally can use to work directly with the customers. That's how you make money. Else you're just going to be there. You're not going to make money.
So meaning before there has to be a cultural mentality shift.
Absolutely. Before you can build anything B2B, there have to be a culture shift that everybody likes to pay for what they consume. Like we have to be a country where we understand there's no free me everywhere.
Let me play the devil's advocate here. I'm not sure we blame Nigeria totally because we have been burnt a lot of times from for instance, power company now. Power company is one big example that burns us. We pay, like if you live in areas where you do what they call postpaid. Is it postpaid? Yeah, postpaid. You understand that, like where you just pay a fixed amount a month. You just come and give you 35,000-40,000 naira bill. If you don't pay more than 80% of that, they disconnect you. And that has been the method from time. So you have, for instance, you could buy data. I'm not mentioning any network. You could buy data. There is one very notorious one that gives a lot of cheap data that doesn't work. You buy data and you struggle to use the data, it will not work. So I think there's a little bit of mistrust. I think there's a mistrust. We don't even trust the ones foreigners bring. Then the Nigerian man that is like us, that has our same mind, will not trust that. So, but the truth is, it's not always like that. Because in my mind, the way I see that, like if all this fintech, all these mobile banks in Nigeria are doing well, we should not struggle with software development in any other thing.
No, Nigerians, believe me, I personally work for I barely work with Nigerians. I work for people outside, and they don't really have any trouble with the software that I build. Nigerians build very, very good software.
Great software.
We build great software, very good software. We work for people all over the country. If you go on GitHub, I think Nigeria should be the country with the third highest GitHub Git commit in the world, not in Africa, I mean in the world. So we should be like some of the best software developers in the world. So we work well, but I think the thing is how Nigerians interpret value.
Yeah.
A lot of Nigerians don't interpret value the way people see it. For example, I'll take app design for an example. Somebody comes to you and says, "Hey, Lawrence, I need you to build an app for me." And you say, "Okay, I'm going to build it." And say, "How much?" You say, "Okay, the guy says, I'm going to pay you $1 million." And you say, "No, it's 10 million you have to pay." And then the guy says, and you say, "No, I'm not going to pay. I will not build it." And the person, you hear words like, "It's not ordinary to sit down on the chair and be drawing something on the screen. Just to draw and give me and say that's all you are charging $1 million for." Or maybe you're a video editor and the person says, "Edit this thing for me." You say, "How much?" Say, I'm going to bill you $300K to edit this one art clip." And the person says, "Eh?" So just to join
this bad part. Yeah.
So I think because we are paying on a monthly basis, not on an hourly basis, so we really don't understand what it means to sit on a chair to do stuff for 1 hour.
I've been designing for almost 6-7 years. I've never designed for a Nigeria, except the ones I just do for my friends and just give them for free. But to design for a Nigerian, I get paid. In fact, I don't even have graphic design to my portfolio because when I came to, the first time I moved to Benin City, I went to print some design from one of these print press like that, and I met somebody there who was talking with their in-house designer, and he finished doing very beautiful design, and he gave this man 1,000 naira. And the guy said, "Thank you, sir." And I met the guy like,
"Why?
How much do they pay for design?" Because I design very well too. Say 1,000 or 2,000 naira. I'm like, "Oh, really?" He says, I removed the title graphic design. I just wiped it off. You won't be giving me 2,000 naira for my hard work.
You see the way
kind of thing is that I mostly design for foreigners.
So we have to be able to interpret what value means.
Yeah.
So because we really don't know how to interpret value, and we do not understand what time, we don't understand the value for people, and also time, even time as regards to our business. A Nigerian person will prefer to use a spreadsheet than to use a normal spreadsheet than to use Google Sheet or than to pay for Google Sheet. You just prefer to do it that way because you think, "Oh, I'm not sure I want to lose this kind of money." But we would have to be able to interpret loss and optimization. Because what all this software does is that they help you to optimize your business so you can focus on other things. But because of the way a lot of Nigerian businesses are built, they are not built for growth. They are built to just survive. So you can't be selling software to businesses that just want to survive. So, but you see the American businesses, a solopreneur can be running 3-4 businesses, right? Because he's automating them with software. And so if the person will say, "Okay, how much am I supposed to be paying a staff?" If I'm paying a staff in America $15 per hour, and I'm paying this person 5 hours a day to do something for me, and that means this person is going to work 31 days in a month or 30 days a month, is it not better for me to just buy a software, pay $100 a month that will automate everything that this other person would do? So that means instead of paying 5 times 8 is about 40 times 8 is about 1,200. Instead of paying $200 a month, it's a lot better for me to pay $100 a month to a software that will optimize everything that person is supposed to do. I will just sit down on my chair, take 1 hour, or pay a developer 1 hour who will set up these things for me, and for the rest of the month, it just runs.
Well, I hope we get to that. I hope we get to that point. Because it's increasingly becoming, I don't want to use the word frustrating, it's painful to see. I know a lot of what softwares can do, particularly the influence of artificial intelligence. A lot of my productions now I do with artificial intelligence. I pay for them, and it's made my job easier. I do not have to get a whole lot of people to work for me anymore. Kind of make it easier. Even in terms of Even things when you're developing a plan, developing a structure.
Yeah.
So all those things come in handy. I think as Nigerians, we should start to understand value, appreciate value, and pay the right price for value. I think we have covered everything that we have to cover on the time for this episode will take us. We'd love to ask Engineer Paul if he has advice for any upcoming developer, but if you ask me, there are nuggets all through our conversation for upcoming developer. If you are developing right now in Nigeria, he said, try and look for clients outside the country.
Absolutely.
Just try and look for, so you survive, because it's not cheap.
Absolutely.
It is not cheap to run
your business.
Yes, to run your business here. So you try and look for clients outside the country. Then if you are a policymaker in this government, let's be fair to Nigerian youths. They are the future of this country. If you want to be honest with yourself and you want to know how Nigeria will be when you leave, try to extrapolate 20 to 30 years time. The only type of people in Nigeria are people like you, who all they know is politics. How would Nigeria be if 90% of the politicians are to be? So if you're a politician or a policymaker, think like that. Regardless of how beautiful politics is now, you still need the software developers. You still need the media technologists. You still need the bankers. You still need teachers. A lot of government schools now, topic for a lot of government schools now, with old teachers. And I keep asking myself, by the time all these people retire, who is going to be teaching? You still need teachers. You still need your drivers. You still need all these people. And if you keep making the environment uncomfortable for them, they start looking for resource outside. And before you know, they'll leave you alone in the country.
Absolutely.
So please, to our policymakers, let's try to make things easy for our Nigerian youth to better their life. So thank you very much, Mr. Paul.
Welcome.
I appreciate your time.
Me too.
And if you want to understand what he meant by Nigerians can develop software, check out our TV app. He did that. Just go to the Play Store or the Apple Store. Download the app. He did that. That was him. So thank you very much. It's a beautiful application.
This is TVM. TVM delivers breaking stories, global headlines, and the moments that matter. From exciting sports action to exclusive local events, we keep you connected. Celebrate our culture, people, and voices with powerful documentaries and inspiring stories. Experience premium entertainment, from trending music to urban lifestyle and beyond. Grow your spirit with life-changing messages and uplifting perspectives. Lead the way with bold conversations, fresh ideas, and thought-provoking shows. Wherever you are, whenever you want. This is TVM, your world, your network.
Welcome to another edition of Money and Market. It is always exciting on this program because it is enlightening, it is educating. Today, we will look at something that affects you and I, and something that you and I are supposed to get involved, but oftentimes we look at this thing down. We don't take it seriously. And what am I referring to? Insurance. Insurance. We will look at insurance and its current state in Nigeria. Like I said, it's something that we often look down at, but we'll know the reason why we look down on this particular thing called insurance. And we'll also tell you the type of insurance and terminologies involved in the insurance topic as it is. Insurance, like I said, there are terminology, so I'll break them down nicely so that everyone will get to understand, even those industry, those in the market, local market, they'll get to understand what insurance is all about and why we need insurance. But first off, let's get the meaning of insurance. Now, insurance is a financial agreement. There's got to be an agreement where you pay a certain amount of money so that you can be protected if anything goes wrong or something bad happens. Now, in insurance, there's got to be risks involved. There's got to be risk covered. There's got to be pooling of resources, that is bringing your money together. All right, and that's why we brought that definition as it is a financial agreement. You know, there's got to be an agreement where you pay a certain amount of money called premium. We'll talk about that. What is one of the terminologies I was referring to? Is, you know, where you bring you bring this amount of money paid in a certain period of time regularly, and that is where, when anything goes wrong, that is where in court help comes from. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Now, so simply put, insurance means shared risk. Shared risk. For instance, many people contribute small amounts of money, you know, so that if anyone in that group of people now that come together to contribute this money, if anyone is hit by a loss, you know, there's definitely going to be some financial issues. I mean, that person will be financially ruined. For instance, if your shop burns down, if your car causes an accident, if the breadwinner dies. All right, so what insurance does in these instances, insurance steps in only, like I told you, like I said, we'll talk about it deeply, only if you are in that particular type of insurance, which we'll break down nicely very soon. Now, if you are covered about any of these instances I gave, like car accident, your shop burnt, or the breadwinner of the house, you know, dies. If you are in any of these insurance policy, I'll break down. If you are in any of these insurance policy, insurance will step in and do what it needs to do. So in Nigeria today, where accidents happen, prices of goods rise. You know, we've talked about this one in previous episodes. Businesses struggle, and life generally on its own is unpredictable. Insurance is no longer a luxury. You know, back then they used to say insurance is for the wealthy. Well, it is fast becoming a financial survival tool. You look at what is shown on the screen right now. We'll be looking at insurance then and insurance now. Let's look at how insurance was back then. It is seen as for the riches, for the rich people, insurance. And of course, back then, when it comes to insurance, it was always paper documents. It has to do with a lot of documentation with papers, files, and what have you. And the enforcement of insurance was very, very rare. Remember when we talked about taxation, when we talked about tax, how the regulators, there are different agencies or sub-agencies that will go and enforce the payment of taxes. So it is, or it was with insurance back then. The enforcement of insurance was very, very rare. Now, let's fast forward to the present day Nigeria, what insurance entails. Well, insurance is used by SMEs, that is small and medium enterprises. Like I said, drivers, families, all right? There is, instead of the paperwork, paper documentation, we now have digital verification, which is very apt. And then there's this need for a stronger government push. So in the past, insurance in Nigeria was ignored, right? But today, because of the rising risks, like I said earlier on, we've seen from road accidents to climate disasters. Insurance is now new shape, which is forcing change as it is. So, like I said, we'll be looking at the different terminologies when it comes to insurance. We'll also look at the different types of insurance. But first off, let's just highlight the common types, as you're seeing on the screen right now, the common types of insurance in Nigeria. Very, very common. The commonest type, we have motor insurance, we have health insurance, we have life insurance, and then you have business and shop insurance, and of course, agricultural insurance. Well, like you can see from all of the types of the commonest insurance that we have in Nigeria right now, you could see that insurance touches our daily life, whether you realize it or not. Well, before we go deep into the types of insurance, let me let you know that insurance is mainly grouped into two categories. We have the life insurance and we have the non-life insurance, or you want to call the general insurance. But before we go into the different types of insurance, I want us to get to understand some core policies, some terminologies used in insurance. One of them is policy. You heard me talking about policy. Well, for policy, it is the legal contract between the insurer and the policy holder. I'll break things nicer, don't worry. And of course, that have the details about the conditions, and the coverage. What this simply means is that it's a document, that shows where the insurer, in this case, maybe an agent or a company that stands as the insurer, and the policyholder. The policyholder is you who is coming to this insurer for a particular policy or coverage, as it were. And of course, this is where the details about the terms of how that particular policy you want covered, that's where it will be explained or shown to you explicitly. And of course, the conditions for that particular cover, and of course, the coverage itself. So that's for the policy. Now, while I was trying to explain the policy, I mentioned policyholder is also known as the insured. It is the person or the entity, because it's not just persons now. You can also insure your business. All right, you insure your car as it is, because I'll talk about that later. So the policyholder or the insured is the person or entity who owns the insurance policy. Remember, the policy is that document that specifies what you are going into. All right, so you, the policyholder or the insured, is the person holding these claims. I'll give you the meaning of claims. And then the insurer, initially, when I talked about the insurer, I said it is probably an agent or what have you. So the insurer is also the carrier, the person who takes in your premium, all right, that amount of money you regularly drop, with this insurer. So the insurer is the carrier, the insurance company that provides the coverage and assumes the risk. So I told you earlier on, risks are involved. So who share the risk? When you pay your premium, it is the carrier or the insurer. Now, don't get it twisted. There is the insured, and then there's the insurer. The insured is you and I, or the business entity that is going into a particular cover, that the insurer, in this place, the insurance company or the carrier, so that's for the insurer. Now, while I was talking about the insurer, I talked about one word, claim. Claim. Now, claim is a form of a formal request made by the policyholder, that's you now, or the business entity. it is a request that you make, or the business entity that is insured makes to the insurer, in this case, the insurance company, for payment or coverage of a loss in the case of a loss that is covered by the policy. All right. So when anything goes, whenever there's an eventuality, whether a loss, you, the insured, will have to ask the insurer for compensation. Let me use the word compensation. All right. So when you make that claim, or that business entity makes that claim, makes that request, it is known as a claim. I want us to understand very well. So by the time I start talking about some of these terminologies or these terms, you get to understand what I am talking about. And then there is the underwriting. There is the underwriting. These are technicalities. I would have skipped them, but like I said, in the course of our discussion, we will also be looking at that. So underwriting, it is the process the insurer uses to evaluate the risk of insuring a person or asset and to determine the premium and policy terms. So underwriting means the insurance company now will have to look at what you have come for. They will now evaluate it, kind of value everything that will be involved in that particular cover. Then they will now tell you how much you will now be paying regularly and how much you will, as insured, will receive in case of eventualities. All right. So, like I said, if we're going to do a part 2 of this, so be it. All right, because time will not be our friend today on this particular insurance topic. So I think we'll have to take a breather here. When we return, we will be looking strategically at the financial terms, because what I've been doing, I've been giving you the core policy and parties involved when it comes to insurance. We'll not look at the financial terms where we'll talk about the premium. If you heard me, I talked about premium earlier on. We'll not talk about another word called deductible, and we'll also look at coverage limit, co-payment, co-insurance, and of course, key coverage concepts. So we'll take a breather from here. When we return, we'll look at this.
At DSAG Engineering and Services, we anticipate, manage, and deliver. Since 2000, we have been a leading EPC company, ensuring customer satisfaction through quality service and timely delivery. With integrity, proficiency, and innovation at our core, we provide world-class solutions tailored to your needs. From engineering designs and construction to procurement, manpower outsourcing, and maritime supplies, DSAG delivers excellence. Partner with us today. Visit www.dsag.net or call +23 4807 254 8724. DSAG Engineering and Services, anticipate, manage, deliver.
All right, welcome back from that short break for that commercial. Before we went on that break, we were talking about, I told you that we'll look at the financial terms and other terminologies when it comes to insurance. Because if I do not give you these terms, the meaning, you will be lost by the time we go deep into the discussion for today. So on the financial terms, one of them is premium. And like we said, premium is more or less like what you contribute. Okay, the money you bring in, you pool your resources. It's all about, when it comes to insurance, it's all about pooling of resources. Okay, bringing your income to a certain place where it is now kept. Then in terms of in times of eventualities, on some risks, that will take place, that's where funds will now be pulled out. So premium is the recurring. It could be monthly, it could be quarterly, it could be annual. That's the money you contribute. It is the amount paid by the policyholder to the insurer to maintain the policy. So if you go into any of the policy, which we'll be looking at, any of the policy that you want covered, there's a certain amount of money that the insurer will have to tell you to pay, which is the premium. And you all agree, because like we said, insurance is all about financial agreement, okay? So you all agree when you want to be making the payments, whether it is monthly, whether it is quarterly, whether it is annually. All right, so that's for premium. Basically, it's all about the money you pay. Okay. Deductible is another word in insurance. Now, this is a fixed amount the policyholder must pay out of his pocket before the insurance coverage kicks in for a claim. For instance, 5,000, let's say 5 million naira deductible on an auto repair. All right, let's not go into all of that, but like I said, I will explain later. But for deductible, it is the fixed amount that you, as a policyholder, as a person, or the business entity, must pay. It's a must, because insurance, you have to agree on some certain things. So when it happens, it is a must that you have to pay that amount of money before the insurance coverage before that coverage, that cover that you're going in for, will start paying you for any eventualities. And then we have the coverage limit. This is the maximum amount an insurer, in this case now, the insurance company, will pay for a covered loss. The amount of money, the maximum it can pay. So I've heard cases of people saying, for instance, an auto incident, and they want to say the amount of the vehicle must be covered as well. There are some calculations that are made, wear and tear, depreciation, a lot of things that are put into place. And so at the end of the day, there's a particular amount that the insurance company will be willing to pay, the maximum amount it will be willing to pay. This can be per occurrence, per person, and of course on an aggregate limit for the policy period. We'll break down these as we go on when we look at the different types of insurance. And then there is a co-payment, or what we call co-pay. Now, this is a fixed amount. It's very, very common in the health insurance scheme, or the health insurance as it is, paid by the insured, that is you or the entity, for a covered service. For example, you pay, let's say 20,000 naira for a doctor's visit. All right, so this co-pay will cover for this as well. And then there's the co-insurance, which is a percentage of the costs for a covered service that the insured pays after the deductible is met. For instance, the insurance company will pay 80%, while you will pay 20%. It depends on the insurance cover that you are into. And then out-of-pocket maximum. Now, this is absolute limit in a given period, usually a year, right? On the amount that you, the policyholder, pays for covered services. Now, after this is reached, the insurer pays 100%. I think you see more of this, in life insurance as well. So, other key coverage concepts, we have cover and coverage, which we've talked about, is more or less what you are paying for, that you are being protected for. That means cover, the protection provided by the insurance policy that you are into. We have the peril, we have the hazard, we have the risk. We'll be talking about risk a lot. A risk is the chance or uncertainty of a loss occurring, the chance of a loss or unwanted eventualities occurring. This is what is being transferred to the insurer, that is the insurance company. So risk is always transferred to them. We have the liability, which is a legal responsibility for causing harm or damage to another person or their property. So liability coverage pays for those costs, and of course there's exclusion. All right, let's now look at the different types of insurance. Like I told you, we have two categorized: the life insurance and the non-life insurance, or the general insurance. For life insurance, this covers related to human life, where we can see them in life insurance, this covers the insured, that is you now, for life, and these beneficiaries upon death. So when you go for life insurance, what it invariably means is that it's a policy that you are covered for life, and in case of death, your beneficiaries will be the one to now receive the money that has been pulled as resources for the life insurance. We have term insurance. As the name implies, this covers a specific period, like let's say from 10 to 20 years. So the term is a period, very, very specific. They will always specify it when you go into that. There's also the endowment insurance. The endowment insurance, this cover pays a lump sum after a fixed period or death. Now, we have been looking at life insurance. Now, the life insurance has sub life insurance. Okay, that's what we've been looking at. We just looked at whole life insurance, where you are covered until death, and when the person passes on, the beneficiaries, mostly the family left behind, will be the beneficiary, the ones that would get the cover paid to them. They will talk about life insurance, which is for a period of time. So after that is covered, you will now be, let me use the word rainbow, and there's the endowment insurance, the cover that pays a lump sum of money for a fixed period or on the death of the policy holder. There's the education insurance. This one is self-explanatory, but mostly to fund children's education. Then we have group life insurance, a whole lot of insurance policy under the life insurance. Group life insurance, this is mostly provided by employers for staff, and it is mandatory, it is compulsory. So wherever you're working, you have to, if you are an employee, then this must cover, you must have this cover, you must have this protection, group life insurance. All right, we also have mortgage protection insurance, which covers outstanding loans if the policy holder dies. So if you go on as a policyholder, go on to collect any form of loan, this particular insurance will cover such outstanding debts, So those are the examples or the types of life insurance covers that we have under life insurance. Now let's look at the non-life insurance. This covers mostly property, liability, and other risks. Let's look at them. First off, we have motor insurance. Motor insurance. Now, this is an insurance that is very, very, one of them is very, very, key, which is the third-party motor insurance. It's very important for every motorist. As long as there's a vehicle on the road, you must have the third-party motor insurance. We'll look at the compulsory insurance because we have compulsory insurance in Nigeria in operation. There's also the comprehensive motor insurance. This is under motor insurance. Then we talk about health insurance under the non-life insurance, where we see the National Health Insurance Authority plans, yes, which is the NHIA. They have a plan, and it's under the health insurance, and of course the private insurance, private health insurance. This one you can also insure yourself privately, but for the from the government sector we have the NHIA plans. Then in non-life insurance we have fire insurance. This covers loss or damage to buildings and properties due to fire. All right, so we also have marine insurance. Marine insurance, this covers goods, ships, and cargo that are transported by sea, air, or land. That's for marine insurance. We look at also travel insurance. Basically, this covers medical emergencies, lost baggage, trip cancellation, and a whole lot of others in relation to traveling. So that's why it's called travel insurance. We also have property insurance. Property insurance is for offices, homes, factories, and equipment, covered against loss and damage. Loss and damage. Anything in the office that is missing, or in the factories, or equipment that go are missing or are damaged. Property insurance covers all of that. We also have agricultural insurance. This is the type that covers crops, livestock, and of course farm assets. Basically, that's what agricultural insurance covers. And then we have accident insurance. I know you'll be saying, but fire insurance now, well, that's different from accident insurance. Now, this is the type that covers for injuries, disability, or death. Accidents that record deaths. So when you have accident insurance, it covers all of this. We also have liability insurance. Now, under liability insurance, we have different categories. We have the employer's liability insurance, which is very, very compulsory as well. The employer's liability insurance, where he has to take care of, things and humans in his under his employment. All right. We have professional indemnity insurance. These are technical insurance schemes. We also have public liability insurance. Yes, these are under the liability insurance. For bond, we also have bond insurance. This has to do with in line with the financial institutions where we see fidelity guarantee insurance, yes, and of course performance bonds. All right, and of course there is the micro insurance, which is designed for low income earners. How will I forget that one? For low income earners and small businesses. So this type of insurance offer affordable coverage. Okay, so these are the types of insurance that we have and that is operational in Nigeria. We'll take another breather. When we come, we'll look at the need for insurance in Nigeria. Stay with us.
We've been a leading EPC company, ensuring customer satisfaction through quality service and timely delivery. With integrity, proficiency, and innovation at our core, we provide world-class solutions tailored to your needs. From engineering designs and construction to procurement, manpower outsourcing, and maritime supplies, DSAG delivers excellence. Partner with us today. Visit www.dsag.net or call +23 4807 254 8724. DSAG Engineering and Services. Anticipate, manage, deliver.
All right, welcome back. And we are still talking about insurance and its state in Nigeria. We've taken a look at what insurance is all about, types of insurance, and it is time for us to look at why do we need insurance. All right, so because risk is expensive, and of course, insurance helps manage the cost of that risk. Let's look at life without insurance. On the screen, you'll see that we have something on the screen. Hospital bill, for instance, 850,000 naira, and it's paid from your pocket. That's life without insurance. You go into the hospital, you rush someone to the hospital, and the hospital says, your bill is 850,000 naira, and you pay from your pocket. Now, the next graphics we have says life with insurance. And when you look at it, insurance pays bulk of the bill. Now, when the hospital comes forward to say, this is your bill, You just fall back to the insurance because you have a life insurance scheme working for you. In such way, you don't have to cough such huge amount of money from your pocket. Instead, in this particular instance, the family is protected. So without insurance, one accident can wipe out years of savings. Now let's look at why insurance matters. From the graphic on your screen, you could see the different reasons. I will break them down really nicely. Insurance protects families from sudden poverty. It keeps businesses running after losses. Insurance covers legal liabilities, and insurance encourages savings and discipline. And by extension, insurance reduces government burden during disasters. So you can say that insurance is not about expecting bad things, but it is about being prepared. I think that's the best way to describe insurance, because most persons will just say, why am I going into insurance? Is it that bad thing wants to happen? Now, that's not what insurance is all about. Let's not look at insurance that way. Let's look at insurance as being prepared when eventualities happen. Let's take a critical explanation on how insurance works. If 10 traders, for instance, contribute small amount of money monthly, let's go monthly, and let's say one of the traders' shop got burnt, what the group, because these are traders who pool resources together, what these other traders, the group now, because it's now a group that contributes money together, they put resources together. Now, what this group does is to support the trader that her shop or his shop got burned. That is exactly how insurance works. Just that insurance is holistic, is bigger, and more structured than the small example that I gave. Now, according to data before us, coming from the National Insurance Commission annual reports, and of course the World Bank insurance penetration data, it shows that the insurance penetration in Nigeria is below 1% of the gross domestic product. We talked about the GDP recently in one of our episodes. Okay, so insurance penetration in the Nigerian economy is below 1%. For South Africa, it's over 12%, the penetration of insurance. And you could see that Nigeria is largely unprotected. That's why I said earlier on when we started that it is something that affects both of us, you and I, everyone in the society, but it's something that is neglected. So you could see that penetration of insurance in Nigeria to the GDP is very, very low. So one thing we want to look at next is insurance compulsory in Nigeria? Is insurance compulsory in Nigeria? Now, that's a very critical question. And of course, let's look at it. By law, is insurance compulsory? The answer is a definite yes. Some of it, by the way, not all of them. Let's look at the compulsory insurance in Nigeria. Now, by law, these are mandatory. These insurance policy or covers that I'm going to spell out. Motor third-party insurance. Motor third-party insurance, very, very compulsory. Like I said, as long as there is a vehicle on the road, that vehicle must have a motor third-party insurance. There is the group life insurance. Now, this is for workers. So for every area of labor, you've got to have this for your workers. It is mandatory, it is compulsory. The group life insurance. Builders liability insurance. Now, this is a type of insurance, it's very, very compulsory. It's a type of insurance that has to do with work sites, people who are building properties, and of course, those who already own properties. As long as you own a property, a building, you have to have this insurance to insure those in the building in case of any eventualities like fire outbreak or collapse, which we've seen in recent times in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, where we see how buildings will just collapse on their own. So builders liability insurance is compulsory. There's the occupiers liability insurance, is in line with the builders liability insurance, where you have to insure those who occupy the buildings. Those who occupy the buildings. All right. So this is why it's called the occupiers liability insurance. Is very compulsory. And then the workmen's compensation. The workmen's compensation is another type of insurance that is very compulsory. And then health professional indemnity. These are very, very important. So let's just pick one out of them, like what the graphic is showing on the screen, motor insurance. This is the big one. This is the big one. Now, there's a law establishing motor insurance. It's called Insurance Act of 2003. The requirement is third-party cover. Penalty, fine, or imprisonment. If you don't have this cover, you'll be fined or you just be imprisoned or be in jail. So if you drive in Nigeria, like I said earlier on, without third-party insurance, you are breaking the law. You are not negotiating that. You must have that third-party insurance as long as you are driving in Nigeria. All right. Why government is enforcing it now? I mean, that's the graphic we are seeing right now. Why is it that government is enforcing especially this particular third-party insurance? Well, you look at it, rising road accidents. There's been so many road accidents of late, though the government is trying its best through the FRSC, trying to curtail the number of accidents on our highways. And then there is fake insurance papers. The reason why the government is really, clamping down on what is going on in the insurance space. So much fake insurance papers. All right. There's also victims left uncompensated. This is one of another big reasons why we have to go into insurance. Most of the victims are not compensated, most of them. And that's why NICOM, like I said earlier on, the FRSC, and of course the Nigerian police, they are now enforcing digital verification. Remember, we talked about the then and now when it comes to insurance. In the then, we said it was just paper documentation, while now we have a digital verification. So this is how the National Insurance Commission and, of course, the FRSC, the Nigerian police, are doing all they can to ensure that insurance, especially when it comes to the third-party insurance, is enforced with a digital verification. Now, all these are not my words. These are sources coming in from, of course, the Insurance Act of 2003 and, of course, NICOM and the Federal Road Safety Corps. All right, so I hope you are getting the truth right now about what insurance is all about. We talked about what insurance is, the definition, why you need to pull resources together. It is not about expecting bad things to happen, but it's just for you to get prepared for your retirement, for your business, for your children, whatever it is, any strata of the society. Insurance is something that should be looked into seriously. And we talked about the compulsory insurance schemes or covers in Nigeria. By law, it is compulsory that you must have these insurance cover. We talked about it. Motor third-party insurance, as long as you are a driver in this country driving on the road, you've got to have that cover. We also talked about for workers, wherever you are as a worker, as an employee, you must be covered by your company with the group life insurance. We talked about builders liability insurance, occupiers liability insurance, workmen's compensation, professional indemnity. These are all compulsory, and of course, health professional indemnity. These are all compulsory insurance cover as it is. So it is not about like I said earlier, expecting bad things to happen. I don't know why we always have this notion that when someone comes to talk to you about insurance, it's just like, especially when it comes to that life insurance, they say, but I don't want to die now. Why are you bringing such cover for me? Talk of another thing. But you don't know these things are very important, because when you go, in what state are you leaving your family behind? In what state? Okay, so this is one form of also preparing for the unwanted scenarios to happen when you finally say goodbye to this world. All right, so it's very, very important. It's key that we have these insurance embedded in our system for us to get to have this insurance scheme. All right, we'll also be going on another break pretty soon. And when we return, we will be looking at the reality check, challenges, and the way forward. In that particular sphere, we'll be looking at what there is a particular policy or reform that the Nigerian government has gotten into when it comes to the insurance cover. So it's not all about only in taxation where we have the tax reform. We also have insurance reform in Nigeria, and that act was also passed sometime in 2025 by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We'll be looking at that. It's called NIRA, NIIRA 2005, which stands for the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Act 2025. When we come back from this break, we'll take a look at that and then wrap things up. Stay with us.
At DSAG Engineering and Services, we anticipate, manage, and deliver. Since 2000, we have been a leading EPC company, ensuring customer satisfaction through service and delivery. With integrity, proficiency, and innovation at our core, we provide world-class solutions tailored to your needs. From engineering designs and construction to procurement, manpower outsourcing, and maritime supplies, DSAG delivers excellence. Partner with us today. Visit www.dsag.net or call +23 4807 254 8724. DSAG Engineering and Services, anticipate, manage, deliver.
All right, thank you for still being with us. It's been a very interesting topic today, and something that touches every lives of the Nigerian out there. Insurance. We've been looking at insurance and its present form. The present form of the insurance in Nigeria is getting better than how it used to be, and I'll tell you why it is getting better. We'll be looking at that critically as the result of the reforms that the federal government has put in place. Now, across everywhere, across the scene, could be in the market space, it could be in your workplace, everywhere you hear statements like insurance is too expensive, they don't pay claims. I didn't know it was compulsory, you know. These concerns are real, no doubt about that, and they are in fact hurting people of course, hurting trust as it is. So let's look at, before we look at the reform in the insurance space, let's look at the challenges in Nigeria's insurance sector. What are the challenges? Well, um, before I talked about the challenges, I said something about trust. Okay, so low public trust. That's one of the challenges in the insurance sector. Public trust. And I'll tell you as we progress why we have low public trust. Another reason is poor awareness. Poor awareness. The agents or agencies responsible for passing this information to everyone to get a better knowledge or understanding of what insurance is all about have not done their job properly. And that's why, most people asking such questions as, I don't even know that this is compulsory, especially for some drivers, where you tell them about the third party insurance cover. They say, but I don't know that it is compulsory. It is because they are not aware. And of course, there's poor awareness coming in from agencies that are supposed to be responsible for that. We also have another reason for challenges in the Nigerian health sector is fake agents. We have fake agents everywhere, who want to come in as the middlemen, in quotes, as it used to be. They will help, they will tell you, instead of going straight to the agencies responsible for such, instead of going to the insurance company, as it were, they will be the one to come and tell you that I will stand on behalf of those insurance companies. In fact, we are insurance company as well, this and that and that and this, and before you know, you have fake agents everywhere who, by the way, when it comes to, which is the next reason, delayed claims, when it comes to your claims for eventualities and you want to have your claims, that is where you get to understand that these people or these agents that came initially to do this insurance policy with you, they are fake. All right, so on the other hand, there is also the delayed claims coming in from even some established insurance companies, So this is one of the challenges faced in the Nigerian insurance sector. Another thing is reforms. Like I said earlier on, which is, though it's saying that reforms are on the way, but the reforms are already in place. Like I said, there was this reform that was passed, the act that was passed in 2025, I think June or July 2025, which is called the NERA 2025. We'll look at that pretty soon. All right, so these are the challenges in the Nigeria's insurance sector. Low public trust. Now, I said I was going to come back back to the trust issue. When you look at the delayed claims and fake agents everywhere claiming to be insurance agents or agencies, definitely the public, when you speak to them about insurance, would not want to even budge. They don't even want to go into such business of insurance, and thereby dropping down as it is. And that's why I would say low public trust. I mean, when you hear people say delayed claims or finding out that the agents that they were working with, the insurer, was fake, you understand? And before now, the way the insurance business was carried out, with the government to ensure that there's enforcement in paying claims and what have you, then definitely there's going to be low public trust. That's why I said I'll come back to talk about the low public trust. So this is one thing that has to be looked at, and which the new act is also addressing. I will not have enough time to go into the law itself because there are so many places in that particular act, which specified some improvement and, of course, expanded some of these covers, and, of course, brought some fines and punishment for any offenders. Now, what is changing? Because I know we're going to be looking at that very, very soon. What is changing? I talked about the new Insurance Reform Act 2025, which is called the NIRA. And of course, there is the higher capital for insurers. For insurers, like the insurance companies, there's now higher capital for them. There's also the digital policy verification, which we talked about the before and the then and now. The then we said it was all about paper documentation, but now it is all about digital verification. So there's a policy in place that ensures that verification is done digitally. Now, micro insurance, there is micro insurance for low income earners. I just touched briefly on this particular one when we talked about the types of insurance, micro insurance. These are people who are not probably in the salary structure or in the big business structure, but very low earners who are probably in the informal sector. So the future of insurance in Nigeria. Now, we want to talk about what is changing in insurance in Nigeria. The future of insurance in Nigeria is